everyone, this is Miles Batten. So today I'm just going to be presenting the website I created for our class, LTEC 5200. My project title is Technologies of Instruction, How to Choose What's Best for Your Project. The focus of my project is a general guide for choosing the best technologies for instructional projects. I wanted to stay away from all the latest tools and just focus on the instructional design process when it comes to technology. For me, this just makes the project more broadly usable. I wanted to stay away from listing off just all of the latest tools and techniques and things and just kind of focus on the process. So my target audience is anybody with an instructional design project. While this could be an instructional designer, it could also be a corporate trainer, an HR specialist, a manager, a teacher, a TA, or a professor. Many of these roles, while they're learning focused, they tend to not focus on design thinking. What I wanted to do is unpack what design thinking looks like to the uninitiated. Instructional design projects can be really high stakes because they're expensive and they're time consuming. So the need to think things through on the technology level is there for these learners, and this is something that I wanted to help my learners with. My first major finding of this project was the discovery of the concept of mapping, or visually connecting ideas together to plan the design of a project. I did a module on mapping that walks learners through the process of mind mapping and helps them kind of get out of this hyper analytical mindset and into a more free-flowing and creative mindset to kind of get the juices flowing. My mind map that I use down here, this one helped me find ways to make the site more visually appealing and easy to use. Another one of my project's major findings was that of useful frameworks, namely Almond and SWOT. I discovered Almond when I attended a learning and development conference in Salt Lake City in August, just as I was starting this class. Almond is a communication framework for presentations and meetings that I applied to technology. I used Almond as a precursor to the SWOT analysis. For the SWOT analysis, I did a SWOT analysis on makerspaces. Makerspaces did not pass the Almond test, and they were found to have more weaknesses than strengths. I had never really thought about makerspaces in terms of Almond, and I think if I had not thought of them in terms of Almond, I would have probably come up with a completely different SWOT analysis of them. So for technology, I use Google Sites for my website design. I had never used Google Sites before, but I thought that it was really easy and fun to use, although it was a little limited when it comes to navigation and visual look. But overall, I really liked using Google Sites. I also used Adobe for my logo in Favicon. You can't see my Favicon because I'm not recording the top of my browser right now, but my logo here in the upper left corner, I've been working on this since last year with my sister, who's an art director. I also used YouTube to provide learners with some variety and visuals, and not just a big block of text on the page because nobody's going to read that. Here we have an example of a YouTube video I've embedded on the final page on the Test the Tech page that features Devlin Peck explaining the Kirkpatrick model. I also used Google Docs in my site. Google Sites lets you embed Google Docs into the page. And if we go back to the previous lesson, select the tech, and go down here to the very bottom where my SWOT analysis on makerspaces is, you can see that the document is embedded in the page, and what learners could do is open this document in a new tab And I have it set up to where they can't make any comments or do any editing, but they can come over here and save the document as a template to use for their SWOT analysis if they like. And finally, one of the soft technologies I used in the project was a constructivist approach to creating the lessons. So in the first lesson, the learner creates a mind map. In the second lesson, the learner is directed to plan by using the Almond framework as well as the SWOT analysis. And then finally, at the very end, let's see, if we go here and then go to the last module up here at the end, if we go back to where we started, we can see the final lesson, which is a reflection exercise in which the learner is asked to write a formal essay in no longer than 3 pages and asked if their technology helped their project to achieve level 3 or level 4 results, why or why not, as well as what they would do differently next time, as well as 3 things they learned about the instructional design process after visiting the site. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you've had a great semester.